Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer. This is my Sunday chat. How are you doing? It's the 7th of March 2021, and this is my way of keeping up to date with you on my weekly Sunday chat. And first of all, let me thank the lovely Mary Hammond, who has knitted this rather splendid tank top. She knitted a green one, you may have seen me wearing that, and now she has very nicely produced for me, which I've commissioned to have made, so, she wasn't out of pocket or anything, this rather lovely tank top. And that's because the woolly jumpers, unless we get a cold day, are slowly now being, well, I was going to say furloughed, but they're being folded, definitely, and getting ready for A, the cold days, and B, the next winter, or just on those special occasions when I'd like to wear them. And sometimes in my house it does get a little bit cold and you think, oh, I'll just shove on a nice woolly jumper. But hoping as we get towards the spring, we can have a change of costume. And to that, I have asked Mary if she'll make me another couple, which I'm paying for. I love the fact that they're wool. I like the old-fashioned tank top. It's very me. And it is a bit of a throwback to, I suppose, the 1940s, is it? Anyway, so big thanks to Mary. You'll see me wearing them. The great thing is I can wear them under my jacket. And if it's really hot, I can take it off. And it's just part of the Bald Explorer's costume, if you like. Anyway. That said, now, what have we got to talk about in today's Sunday chat? It's about this time that I was starting a trend of getting things lined up, all my ducks in a line for the year. Last year, just about this time, a little bit earlier, we'd booked the canal trip. We had a balloon trip booked. We were going to do 5 weeks in a wood. We were going to do all sorts of bits and pieces that we'd planned. On my own. This is before I had the van. I had a number of Airbnbs booked in different parts of the country. I was going to go down and see Mark Selwood down in Cornwall to go and do some of that. Probably hook up with Robert Croser as well last year and venture over into Northumberland was one of the plans and bring to you a lot more. I think I was going to go to Nottingham area, to Nottingham Forest. But unfortunately, as we know what happened last year, the COVID situation came, we were all being locked down and then we were released and we didn't know what was going on. And all of Airbnb basically cancelled their things. They very kindly refunded the money. And we were away, if you remember, right at the start, lovely Julia and I were away for 3 days doing ancient tracks and the hangers of Hampshire. And we'd only managed to get out on 1 day. And then we had to come back home because Boris was locking down the country. So this year, I've been thinking about this and I've been running this through and I've been a bit indecisive, mainly because having seen how the government have moved the goalposts over the last year and chopped and changed their minds, and whilst we hope that that has been, or this has been, the last of the lockdowns and that we will eventually get out, it does seem that we're still this very slow, gradual approach to get things back to normal is going on almost until the middle of the year. And this is very irritating, of course, if you're trying to book anywhere. And because that they've still got these quarantines on aeroplanes and people going abroad, and then these variants are sort of raising their ugly heads, everything is a bit of an unknown quantity. And I know, speaking to my friend Matthew Holdsworth, that they were trying to book things. And in this country, all this little B&Bs and hotels are all being booked. The holiday resorts are being booked up very frantically because, quite rightly, people are so fed up of the four walls that they've been looking at for the last, 12 months, more or less, that they're desperate to get away and have a change of scenery. And it's made me worry, I suppose, or be concerned that is it worth me booking stuff only that we may not be able to get there, that the country is going to be chocker with people going about having their holidays, making it difficult to film. And the canal trip, this is one of the things I wanted to book, is that also, are the canals going to be mega busy with loads of people going around, which is, I suppose, from one point of view would be interesting to witness queues at locks, but having followed a number of canal YouTubers, one knows how repetitive that can be on the videos. And so I'm rather hoping that we could have a bit more of a quiet and a slightly less panicky canal trip this year than we did last year, when we had a few issues with the heating and various things. So I'm being cautious myself about not booking anything, which is not a good idea. But I do have my van, and I think that the van, possibly with a tent, and we may go and do some camping and some other odd things, I think, rather than anything more predetermined. So I think this year, because we don't really know what the government are going to do and how they're going to respond, everything is all going to be a bit last minute. And I apologise for that, because I would like to have said to you that we're going to do this, try and raise a bit of money to help towards pay for it and all of that, but it's not going that way. My son and his girlfriend are buying a flat, as you know. I may have mentioned this several times, and they who live here and have the master bedroom are moving out, and I plan to move my studios into one big room, which would be the master bedroom, and actually have 2 or possibly 3 studios out of that one space, so that when I do my lives or other talks to camera, I can vary the background a little bit. So in order to build that once they've moved out, and that should be by the middle of March, which isn't long now, I probably will take a week off from my normal services that I do, the reading and the Vobes show, and indeed the Bald Explorer walks, in order to facilitate the moving of everything. I will probably put up something each day to show you how it's going and keep you up to date with all of it. So I will be incommunicado, and I will, of course, tell you all about this as it goes on. But I just thought I'd just let you know that I most likely will take at least a week off, because I've been doing this for over 3.5 years now, pretty non-stop, producing videos and not taking any time off. When you're self-employed, I don't have the luxury of however many holidays that people have. You just keep going. And pretty much, I think I've put a video out or something out every single day in all that time and worked on stuff. So even though I may not be, well, I'll still be putting videos out, but it'll just be about the move. Coming up this week, now this has been something that I've been very interested, and I've just not been able to tell you about. I have been approached by one of the major manufacturers of cameras. And they've asked me, because they've seen me as a growing channel, particularly in the outdoor arena, I suppose, doing walks and country things, to test one of their cameras. I can't tell you what it is because I'm under embargo, but I can tell you that this week it will be launched. I believe it's the 9th of March, and I will release a video in which I demonstrate this camera and its potential. And I'm always wary of being approached, and I have been approached by various people about, footwear and bits and pieces, and I've thought, do I want to pander down, I suppose, to people who are giving me stuff? And it does depend on the item, whether I think it's going to be of use to me or the channel, or what it can do for the channel or my viewers. I'm not going to just take sponsorship or money or anything to promote somebody else's product unless I believe in it. So on that basis, I've agreed to try out this camera and see if it would work, particularly for my viewers, but also for me, whether it's useful to me as a tool in the arsenal for making videos about heritage, landscape and nature, which is, of course, my main theme. And I can't tell you now how I think about it or any things like that, but that is the angle I'm taking. And it was very kind of them to reach out to little old me And this, as I say, it's one of the major players who do these types of camera. So anyway, that's coming up, and I'm very thrilled to be part of it. And I will do this. I'm hoping to do this as a supplementary video. So that day we'll probably have 2 videos because of the time scale that I can't release it before because it has to be released. There's a certain time because it's I forget where they're based, but wherever they're based, I probably can't release it at the normal time I do my own videos. I meant to bring into the studio, and I haven't brought into the studio, which is very remiss of me. I have this book, and you may have seen me show it, that Mad Jack, about Mad Jack Fuller, John Fuller, the Squire of Brightling. He has this, he built all these follies, and I'm hoping to go and have a look at these. Well, I showed it to you, I think, last week. So I'm sorry, I should have brought it into the studio, and I didn't. So I've been in touch with the publisher, and if anybody wants a copy of it, I can get you £5 off the recommended new price. So if you're interested, I'll put the link in the description so that you can approach the publisher and claim your £5 off. You get a special, it's like a password, I think. I forget what they call them because I never normally deal in all this sort of stuff. But you use that and you can get £5 off if you would like it. It's Mad Jack Fuller, and it's a fantastic read. I'm halfway through it myself, and I do recommend it. I'll probably be doing some features from that. And actually, I would very much like to interview, when we're allowed and the restrictions have gone, to interview the author about the book and visit some of the follies and talk more about Mad Jack, as he is one of our curious and interesting characters in Sussex historically. I'm also aiming to do more on the farming and the villages, the early villages and the early farming in this country, to get that groundwork fully into my head so I understand it. So as I start to go further afield, once the restrictions are lifted, I can appreciate that more and explain more of that. So I'm hoping to do more programs like that. People have been very positive about that series. That's again, it's an ad hoc thing, and I do it, as I mentioned in the videos, really as a way, if I can regurgitate what I've learnt, it seems to stick into my head a lot more rather than simply just reading. I find that, I'm sure if I was writing a book, you'd read and research, and then when you write, you get a clearer idea because you've got to put it into words. So I think that's a great way of doing it. And as people have been interested, I shall continue. There'll be more of those. I am also keen, and I think now that I've got my van, I'm keen to do longer format programs where I explore a subject in more detail and in a better quality way, rather than just a meandering walk. I would like to be able to have more resources and spend a bit more time on the projects. Now, I've mentioned this before, and then, of course, we went into lockdown. That wasn't able to happen. But I'm a little bit better off now in terms of having the van, which is a nice base to go and follow something. So I may well do some longer format things that perhaps take a week or 3 or 4 days to put together before it comes out. I'll, where possible, I will continue to put up a daily video, even if that video is a report on how things are going. So there won't be a break as such, apart from when I do my studio stuff. I don't like to have a break, but it may be that we'll get some specials. So that's really some of the things that are going through my mind at the moment as we get forward. But so much depends, of course, on how this year pans out. And it may be that a number of the plans and projects that I've wanted to do will be shelved until next year, because we really don't know how things are going and how accessible the world is at the moment. But anyway, hopefully I'm staying positive on all of that. And thank you for all your comments, by the way, and all your feedback. I know sometimes I put out material which you may disagree with, you may not like points of view. Sometimes it is just there to air a discussion. I remember watching, I forget his name now, but a very famous presenter who often said things that he didn't really mean, but if you always say things that everybody agrees with, you don't elicit debate. But if you say something which most people disagree with, then you start a conversation. And I'm quite interested in starting conversations with people. So sometimes I may put some stuff out which might seem controversial. It might not be. I may be more passionate about it or not passionate about it. But I think it's important that people are able to put forward ideas, even if they're not perhaps the mainstream ideas, and that we can still discuss things, that we don't just say, oh, this isn't the current wisdom, so therefore it's off the table, nobody's allowed to do it. We mustn't stifle debate. And I feel passionate that things should be on the table, that we can debate them and we can walk away as friends and go, well, you know, I still disagree with you, but I appreciate the conversation. Anyway, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you have a fantastic Sunday. If you're watching on Sunday, don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy that. You can give me a thumbs down if you'd rather. I don't really mind. Leave a comment and don't forget, become a patron, support what I do, and I'll continue to make more of my videos for your entertainment. Until next time, take care, look after yourselves, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.